Hello, my name is Samantha Gavin, and my presentation today is on malicious code. The main focus are malware, different types of viruses, explanation of the most common viruses and malware, and how to protect yourself from malware. What is malware? Malware is something someone uses to inflict harm on your computer. Malware, or malicious software, comes in all shapes and sizes, metaphorically speaking, and refers to software that has been designed for malicious purpose. The most common forms of malware include viruses, worms, rootkits, Trojan horses, and spyware. Here are some different viruses and how they function. The first one is a boot sector virus. Typically infects the following: master boot record, floppy disks, and hard disks. The second one is a program virus. They wreak havoc in a system, destroy files, and cause system and program to crash and malfunction. And the third one we have is a macro virus, associated with documents, spreadsheets, and other data files. And they're also transmitted through emails containing malicious attachments. What are the different types of malware? We have virus, boot sector, worms, Trojan horse, ransomware, rootkit, and spyware. Here's a chart of the main malware that happens and how to tell you if you have it. So, for example, the virus. Viruses will cause slowness, annoying ads, application/hardware crashes, internet traffic significantly increases. And there's more of the list as it goes. And most importantly, having a good anti-malware software on your computer will let you know the fastest if someone or something is lurking in the dark. So now we're going to go through a little explanation of some of the viruses and worms. A boot sector is a virus, and it does what the name entails. It infects the boot sector of a hard drive or a floppy disk, back when computers had to boot with a floppy disk. A program virus attaches itself to an executable file, files that end in exe, bat, or .com. Once the executable is run, the virus then acts in the way that it was programmed to do, like deleting hard drive data. Macro viruses are the newer types of viruses, surfacing in the late 1990s. These viruses account for most of the viruses out there. In review, macro viruses are implemented by attaching the virus to a document file. Therefore, computers will block documents or block macros from being enabled on Excel documents. Worms are another common form of malware. It used to be easy to distinguish between a worm or a virus. A worm is independent, which means it doesn't need a person to run an executable in order for it to work. After penetration of the worm occurs, it creates a replica of itself and moves to another machine across the network. A Trojan horse is very similar to the Trojan horse story, where the army is hiding in the giant wooden horse that is being gifted to the enemy army. With a Trojan horse, malicious code or software is hidden in a file that looks legitimate but can take control of your computer. Trojan horses may look like a legitimate file, like google.exe, but may have come from an untrusted source containing malicious code. A rootkit is formed of malware used to modify the operation of a computer's operating system to make it perform non-standard functions. The use of rootkits dates back to the beginning of Unix operating systems. Basically, a root is designed to perform any task that an operating system can perform. Spyware is a form of malware that spies on your computer, hence the name. It records and reports users' activities. For instance, spyware was installed on a computer at home. Anything that a user were to do on that computer, whether search the web, play video games, etc., will be recorded and reported to the attacker, or the person who installed the spyware. And here's a little chart of the differences between worms and a virus. So worms don't need humans to replicate. The most computer worms are spread in one of the following ways: a file sent as an email attachment, a link to a web or FTP resource, P2P file sharing networks, and the spread speed is quick and fast. As with a virus, it needs a human to replicate. They can be divided by the following methods: file viruses, boot sector viruses, macro viruses, and script viruses, and the spread speed is slow. How to protect yourself from malware. Use antiviruses softwares and keep your antivirus software up to date. Use firewall to block unwanted network traffic and unwanted software. Be sure not to click links or download any attachments from anyone you don't know. Encrypt files to protect sensitive information stored on your computers. And ensure your computer has the most up-to-date software patches. In conclusion, if a computer is infected, most, if not all, antivirus software out there has the ability to quarantine and remove the malicious code / software from the computer. It is very common to fall victim to a virus. Even information technology employees fall victim to it sometimes. If a computer gets infected, follow the above steps to mitigate the risk that an infection will occur again. Remember that attackers are always out there looking for a time and place to attack. And there are my references.